Let's be real. If we spoke to our best friends the negative way we get to talk to ourselves, we would have no friends left. And yet, way too often, we tell ourselves things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. But what if I told you that the way you talk to yourself is shaping your entire life? And today, I want to show you how to change that. How to use the power of self talk to finally believe that you are enough just the way you are. Here is the truth: your brain believes what you tell it the most. So if you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, your brain will be seeking a proof of that. But if you start telling yourself, I'm capable, I'm worthy, I deserve good things, your brain will start finding proof of that instead. And I'm telling you this because I have been through it. For the most of my life, I have been my worst critic. Until the moment I realized that I don't have to keep doing it. I don't have to keep being my worst enemy. Instead, I can become my best friend. Instead of being mean to myself, I can be kind to myself. I can start talking to myself the way I would talk to my best friend, and you can do the same. All right, now let's shift this. Here is how you can start to use positive self talk daily. Every time you catch yourself saying something negative like, I'm not enough, try to replace it with, I'm learning and growing every day. Every time you catch yourself saying things like, I'm bad at this, tell to yourself, I'm figuring this out. Flip the script, darling, because it matters. Start talking to yourself the way you talk to your best friend, because this would really change things for you. And yes, I know that there are bad days. There are days when you're feeling your worst and you don't feel like telling yourself anything good. And in these type of days, I advise you to try to be neutral. Instead of being mean to yourself, try not to talk to yourself at all. Start doing something that makes you feel better. Whether that is going for a walk, doing some sport, reading a positive self book, or just talking with a good friend who can uplift you. Find your way to get yourself out of a negative cycle. Trust me, you don't want to get into a negative loop. Once you have been really positive, once you have been changing your mindset and repeating positive thoughts, positive affirmations, you don't want to get back to old self-limiting beliefs that are harming you, because positive self-talk requires patience, it requires time, and you need to be consistent in doing it. You cannot be positive with yourself for a couple of days and then going back to being negative a couple more. So whenever you find yourself feeling truly negative, try to distract yourself. Try to do something positive and stop thinking about yourself, stop talking to yourself if you have to, until you get back to yourself and you can be positive again. Try to find one sentence that feels right for you and repeat it daily. Let me give you some example. You can say to yourself, I'm enough just the way as I am. I deserve happiness and love. I'm capable and worthy. The more you start repeating such kind of thoughts, the more you'll start to believe them. Try talking to yourself in front of a mirror. Say to yourself, I'm lovable, I'm worthy. I love you, Vicky, in my case. Say to yourself, I love you. Say your name. I know that it may sound crazy at first, but this works because talking to yourself in front of a mirror, seeing yourself, seeing your reactions, will get you to this habit of believing more in yourself or being kinder to yourself. Instead of always looking at your flaws whenever you look in a mirror. For example, I used to see only my scars. Whenever I looked in the mirror, I was always seeing the flaws on my face. I wish it was more rounded instead of being long, but the truth is I cannot change the shape of my face. I cannot change the fact that I have scars. I'm trying to cover them using makeup and things like that, but there are days that I feel really bad about myself. And you might be feeling bad about yourself in different ways. You may feel like you're fatter one day than another. And the thing is that many of us find ways to feel bad about ourselves. Whether that is looking at your face, looking at your body, not liking your arms or not liking your legs, whatever it is, or not being happy with the style of your hair, anything. The thing is that we don't have to keep practicing this habit of finding our flaws and looking at the things we dislike. Instead, we can start looking for things that we like in ourselves. This is how you can cultivate self-love. This is how you can really start loving yourself more. I'm telling you this because I'm learning how to love myself every day. That's a process. It's an ongoing process. We need to keep it going. We need to keep it rolling. And this is how we become stronger. This is how we become more confident. Stop speaking negativity into your life, darling. Not only the way you talk to yourself matters, but the way you talk about yourself also matters. There are days when you mess up and you start saying to yourself or to others, "Oh, I'm so stupid, I did it again, I failed again, I did that mistake again." Or you start to find yourself ugly and you keep telling yourself, "I'm so ugly, I'm so this, I'm so that." Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative about yourself or talking something negative about yourself, try to catch yourself and correct it, darling. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at relationships," say, "I'm learning how to love myself and attract healthy relationships." I have been using this positive thought on me, and it has been really helping me to attract better people in my life. Because I used to believe that I'm really bad at relationships. And guess what? I was attracting the wrong relationships. I was attracting the wrong people. But now that I'm more in peace with myself, now that I'm learning to love myself, I get to meet better people. And I stand a better chance at creating a more harmonious and healthy relationship than ever before. Just think about it. Do you know any negative friends? Any people that constantly complain but are happy with their lives? Me personally, I cannot think of anybody that is always negative and is happy. The happy people that I know are positive at least 80% of the time. They focus on the good stuff in their lives. They're looking for opportunities. They're looking for solutions. They are surrounding themselves with good people. And this is how they keep themselves on the positive side of things. And we can learn from them. We can do that as well. Surround yourself with positive reinforcement, darling. Your environment affects your mindset, darling. Whether you believe it or not, it does. So surround yourself with more positive people, with people who uplift you, instead of surrounding yourself with people who constantly doubt you, with people who constantly complain about themselves and who constantly criticize you. Because this negatively impacts you and the way you see yourself. Keep a positive journal. Write one good thing about yourself each night. You can write it right now. What is one good thing that you want to say to yourself today? I'm sure there are more than one, but you can start with one and continue from there. Have your inspirational sources. Whenever you find yourself going down a negative spiral, you need to have your ways to get yourself out of there as soon as possible. Whether that is reading a positive book, listening to a positive podcast, or listening to a motivational speech. Whether that is just listening to a happy song or talking to a positive person, find your ways that help you to stay on the positive frequency, because this matters. We all have bad days. We all get to feel bad about ourselves, about the circumstances, about any other thing. But the thing is, we need to be more conscious about it, because we can change this. We can change our thoughts. We can change our words. We can change the way we think about ourselves. And this changes the way we feel about ourselves. And the way we feel about ourselves reflects into the world. It reflects in our relationships. It reflects in our life as a whole. So we need to make our best. We need to be intentional with our words, with our thoughts. And I hope that you can start doing it from now on. And here is your challenge. I want you for the next 21 days to replace one negative thought with a positive one and say it daily. Practice it daily. Start with one and then continue from there. Comment below. What is that one thing you're going to start saying to yourself differently? Let's make this shift together. Today, I just want to remind you, darling, that you're worthy. You always have been. And the more you keep telling this to yourself, the more you'll start to believe it. Keep growing and keep shining, darling. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.